morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hope College inside DeVos Fieldhouse. We are on the DeYoung court tonight for the matchup between the Hope College Flying Dutch and the Adrian Bulldogs. I'm Carly Van Swell alongside Scott Vanderstoop. Thank you for being with me here today, Scott.
Carly, it's great to have you back. How was your semester in South America or Spain?
Spain. I went exactly to Sevilla, Spain, where his daughter went the semester before me.
It's good to have you back. Good to be back with you. Student-faculty collaboration and a new type.
Always a fan favorite, right? And Rietberg brings it down for the first solid kill of the night in this match to give the Dutch the lead right away.
This will only be the second time we get to see Hope. Carly was in class, so this will be the first time she gets to see Hope. I watched them a little bit this afternoon against Kalamazoo. They had a solid performance. They're led by their four-year starter from West Ottawa, Katie Rietberg.
That ball by Thompson up tight against the net for an easy tip over for the Bulldogs. We're going to see Welch serve.
Well, the students that were in class at 3 o'clock are no longer in class. They're here with their Hawaiian leis and sunglasses celebrating September in Michigan.
Gotta love it. You never know what weather you're getting here. Stutes misplayed that one.
Adrian's always been a solid team. They've always been kind of second chair to Hope and Calvin, but they've always been competitive and often making the top 4 and therefore qualifying for the MIAA tournament.
Cutler's going to step back to Ditzenberger. Bulldogs keep it alive with a free ball. Cutler goes to Stutes off the block of Ashhurst. Bounces right back down for a point for the Dutch.
Ryan Stutes had a great first match against Kalamazoo, particularly set 1. She had a lot of power. She's a left-hander from the from the right side, which causes difficulties for blockers. She was very impressive. First-year starter.
Good dig right there from Tetchington. This ball goes off the block, tight against the net. Ditzenberger is going to get the hit. Tutiko goes out to Tobler. Off the partner block of Ditzenberger and Stutes. Looked like Ditzenberger took control of most of that. And
Coach Schmidt played a lot of players against Kalamazoo, had almost a completely different lineup in set 2. She's got a lot of depth. There's an ace.
That's a beautiful placement from Rietberg. Find that back corner. Number 10, Tobler's just high, a little bit closer to that 10-foot line, so sneaked it right past her. She goes for the left back corner. We're going to get back-to-back aces from Rietberg.
Wow, that's hard to do.
Beautiful placement.
I think Adrian will field anything Katie sends at him this time because they don't want to have that happen again.
Tobler with a nice pass. Goes up to Welch. Off the block, out of bounds. We're going to get a sub. Kerner is going to come in the front row, and we're going to have number 22, Allison Ashhurst, to serve.
Or is it Jordan Pizzo, the middle from Clinton, number 6?
Ball's going to be set up. They're just going to have to free ball that. Stutes is there. Thompson with a good 1-2 combo.
Well, for the first time since I've been following Hope Volleyball, which has been for many years, Hope is using a 2-setter offense. Adair Cutler is setting, as well as Westra, and whose first name, because she's a freshman, I'm forgetting, Tracy Westra, a freshman from Timothy Christian, will be setting for half of the time. So far it's been very effective, and oftentimes you can get, depending on how you run the 6-2, you can always have 3 hitters in the front row, and that's what we've been having.
And freshman McKenna Otto there puts her first kill of the game in the stat book.
7 first years on the team for Hope.
Yeah, I've heard a couple different people talk to me about how strong this freshman class is, which is exciting for Hope Volleyball. Back and forth action, hard hit there, recovered by the Bulldogs down. Rashawn gets hands on it, up to Rose at the net. She goes for the tip. Bulldogs slow it down a little bit. And Tobler will send that out of bounds to give the rally point to the Dutch.
8-3 Hope.
Deshaun with the serve. just out of bounds, a couple inches off that back line.
I think Vandermeulen was the libero in the Kalamazoo match. We've gone with Vashon in this match.
23, Welch will serve. Thompson, Rietberg, and Vashon back to serve receive. Back row set to Rietberg. Leaves it down, so that'll head into the net.
Vashon didn't have much to do with it, and Katie probably tried to do a little too much with it given where the ball was and where she was on the court.
Welch again. Rietberg with the pass. Cutler to Thompson. Dug by Welch. Back set to Stutz. Hard hit. Good dug by Sutsiko, but
I told you, back row attack there by Adrian. I think what happened on that play was number 23, Grace Welch, had her foot over the 10-foot line. And she was a back row player, and you can't do that. Hope has two left-handed swingers, Thompson, who comes from the outside, and Stutz, who comes from the left side. You don't see that very often. That's quite a weapon. That makes it harder for blockers to know exactly where to position themselves.
We just see Carly Thompson came in for the Bulldogs. Dubois will set that one out to Tobler off the block. Tobler again tips it over. Free ball by the Bulldogs. Out from Otto, strong hit. Otto at the net, beautiful tip. Saw the block and went right in no man's land.
McKenna Otto, another one of the first years from Wheaton North, part of the fabulous freshman crew that Coach Schmidt has recruited. They're all making an immediate impact.
Which exciting to see for the Dutch. 10-5, the Dutch take the lead. And Scott, what do you think has worked so well in these first couple minutes to give Hope that 5-point lead?
One of the things that a two-setter offense will do for you is give you a different look, and so Wester does it a little differently than a Cutler does. Cutler goes back setting quite a bit to Stutz, and the fact that you have three hitters and a lot of depth for Hope. Adrian doesn't exactly know where to go, and if the set is quick enough, it's hard to keep up. And so far they've had a lot of open looks.
So both teams are going to head back. Looks like the Bulldogs will be the first ones out. We're going to see Thomas, Pizzo, and possibly Tobler in the front.
McKenna Otto's another one of these first-year players for Coach Schmidt. I think she was recruiting a Fab 5, and she ended up with a Fab 7. We got 7 first-years on the team. A lot of them playing right away, which is hard to do.
And even better and exciting for this program. Blocked by Otto and Thompson. Back row set to Welch. Westra, beautiful heads-up play. That back row was back on their heels, and that left that middle wide open.
That does not look like a first-year player right there. That's jump set and able to dump it over. A whole different look from Cutler, who has a slightly different approach, not as tall, and does more back setting.
We watch to Tobler. Tobler will get it to stick. Deflected off the Dutch. And we'll see a sub. Megan Purcell will come in for Tobler. Rietberg will pass. Wester out to Thompson. This ball goes out to Welch. Good spot choice by Welch.
Yeah, that was a good hit. That's a tough angle. And Rietberg had a line on it, but it was cut so well by the hitter.
Persa again. Wester out to Thompson. Hits the top of the tape.
Rose a little far off the net on that. Those are hard to get over a double block.
So the Bulldogs bring it within 3.
That was a good timeout. They scored 3 in a row, didn't they?
Wester back sets to Otto. Otto into the face of Hutchinson. Hard hit.
These are good first-year players. McKenna Otto, freshman with a lot of power on the slide.
Thompson back to serve. Deep serve.
McKenna Otto getting a compliment from the Adrian coach.
Yeah.
But we can't repeat it.
No. Very impressed though, right? Very
She
impressed. Hutchinson back to serve. Goes there with a good pass. West out to Otto. Off the block. West just saves it. This time they choose Rietberg. Hutchinson with the save. Bubach out to Thomas. Wester with the tip. Hutchinson goes out to Welch. Deshawn's there for the dig. To Rietberg, off the block. Dug by Persa. Out to Thomas. Good rally going back and forth. Rietberg off the block. Welch is there to recover the tip, but a little too far back by the 10-foot line, and Rietberg just got that nice spin off the block.
Yeah, that was a nice play. Good rally. Both teams played well at that point.
Pass by Persa.
Otto with an ace. 3 aces out of the 14 points.
Persa, Hutchinson, and Welch in the back row. Welch takes it. Misplayed by Bubach. Otto back to serve again, 15-9.
Otto leads the team so far early in this first set. 3 kills out of 8 kills in the match. Oh, wow.
Welch right into the hands of Ditzenberger with a little help from Westra.
Ditzenberger's very effective on the block. She can block right from the middle lane. She can get off the partner with the right side hitter. Another timeout.
And Ditzenberg struggled with a couple of injuries throughout her career here at Hope. So exciting to see her come out for her senior year injury-free.
I think she played in the second set, as I recall, last match this afternoon. Vanessa Reinhout should see some time as well. Emily Farwell is another middle. They have a lot of depth in the middle. Play 2 setters.
Which that was a position that we struggled to fill the last couple years, the middle hitter. We had to have Baker kind of slide into that spot from the outside last year.
That was the other graduate.
Yep.
We were quizzing each other on who we lost.
We
It's amazing
were.
how quickly people forget.
Yeah, we lost a lot of key players last year, but the Dutch don't look like they've slowed down a lot from
No,
that.
this is a very good team at this point. It's early in the season with a young team, but the trajectory is very good. They've played very impressively, including picking up wins in Kentucky against ranked teams, Barry and Wash U. Wash U is a very hard team to defeat. They're ranked 10th in the country, and that's probably about as low as they've been ranked in the last 10 years. So that's a huge win for a young team on the road in the first weekend of the season.
Right, and for this team to be playing so well together so early on, always an exciting thing to see and something very exciting for, I'm sure, Coach Schmidt to see as well.
What does Coach Dersma say? Get 1% better every day.
Yeah, I like that. Otto continues to serve. She goes deep to Persa. Hutchinson is gonna help her out. Wester to Rietberg through the block. Hutchinson to Welch. Goes deep corner. Vanderlaan watches that to the line. That's out of bounds.
Adrian just doesn't have a lot of options right now. They're usually faced with 2 blocks. The ball's fairly far off the net when they get it, and then they just don't have a lot of angles. So now they try to go in the middle, which is a smart thing to do, but again, they were just a little slow, and the timing wasn't there.
Miss hit from the Bulldogs. Otto continuing her streak, sneaks that one over. Bubach to Ashurst. Rietberg will slam it down.
Can't forget about the defense either. You got Vandermeulen and Vachon, and even Otto from her serving position. She's a back row player, but she's doing her fair share of defense in this serving string. Impressive run for the Dutch.
Welch makes the most of that, and Rietberg tried to go to that back corner, quick tip, a little bit too far out of bounds. Deshaun's going to come back in, and we're going to see Susico as well as number 23, Grace Welch, come into the game.
Carly, you haven't lost a beat. I'm impressed with your game preparation. You know the players. That young mind of yours. Thank you. I'm so glad you do that part of it.
I do my best. Ball out to Grace Welch, or Olivia Welch, excuse me. Westra will take her shot at the hit. Susico out to Ashhurst. The Dutch save. Rietberg frees it over. Quick free ball from Welch. Welch to Ditzenberger. She slams it just a foot behind the 10-foot line. Curses there, but on her heels and can't get that ball up. Beautiful hit from Ditzenberger.
Well, that was a long string where Adair Cutler was on the bench because Westra was the setter. So now Cutler will come in the back row and set from the back row for Westra. But a lot of points gathered up during that rotation.
Good vision from the Adrian defense. Watch that out of bounds.
Well, being the father of twins, I had to look since we had two Welches. Sisters probably, because they're both from Vicksburg. Different year, not twins.
We had twins for Finlandia, so you missed that. Both seniors.
Really?
I know, exciting stuff. Miscommunication from the Dutch. Adrian brings it in between an 8-point game. Olivia Welch back to serve. Rietberg with a nice pass. Cutler out to Stutz. Touching Tins there, excuse me. Hodler sends it over. Stutz slams it. Good dig from Welch. Out to Tobler again. Deshaun will set. Rietberg rolls that off the net. And I gotta say, that's probably one of the first times we've seen a back row set from a non-setter not get called a double hit.
Yes.
We had probably 8 double hit calls in the last game.
It is a as the father of a right side hitter who often used to get the second contact, I always felt that the officials were out to get the non-setters.
Yep.
I've ranted about that conspiracy theory now for 3 years.
I was gonna say it's been a while. So we see Ligon come into the game, and Stutz just
It'll work.
miss play on her part, but you know, hey, if it goes over and you get the point, doesn't matter how it looks.
Sort of the volleyball equivalent to a changeup. We thought it was coming
Right.
fast, change speeds.
Rietberg with the serve to the net. And Allison Ashhurst, the freshman from Traverse City, will serve. Cutler finds Ligon, and the freshman gets her first kill of the game.
Molly Ligon, first year part of this crew from Birmingham Seahome, Beverly Hills, Michigan. I don't remember if she played a lot in the first set. Thompson and Rietberg were there. I think they've got depth at right side too, but especially depth in the middle. Another point for Hope.
So Grace Welch sends that out.
I thought this set would be closer.
24-14 game point. Deshaun goes deep corner but out of bounds. And Grace Welch, the sophomore. She'll take the serve. Cutler goes right side to Stutz, who just smashes it down, and Touchington's there, but that will go right into the crowd, and Hope will take the first game.
Well, I'm biased toward right-siders, but I like that play. That was a good hit. Stutz had a good match, as did Ditzenberger, and Rietberg had 3 kills. Otto with 3, good balance scoring. Stutz with 3 also.
Yeah, so very spread out, getting all the hitters involved for Hope, which is exciting to see. Don't have to rely on just one person. We got options.
Lots of them.
And so if you're Adrian, seeing that first set, what do we take away from that first set to propel us into a more successful second game?
Well, I think they've got to be fast to the block. They've got to be very quick. The middle's got to be ready to move either way, because it looks like when you have that many weapons, you've just got to be a little faster. and I know that's hard to do, but they've got to be more aware, maybe try to pick up on some of the tendencies. Wester seems to do a little bit more setting to the back, and Cutler a little bit more to the outside. But again, that isn't. You don't want to go to the bank on that. And frankly, they just have to control the ball better. They got ace 3 times, and a lot of their first passes put the setter in a spot where either she couldn't get it and had to get help from the secondary, and then you just pretty much left without letting it to the outside, and then you don't have a lot. A lot of Adrian's balls were 6-7 feet off the net, and sometimes that works. But in this game, when you're going up against 2 blockers, they just didn't have a lot of angles. They didn't have a lot of things to do, so they just often had to roll it over, and a lot of them went out because they were trying to thread the needle.
Right, and you talked about that first pass and how crucial it is. I mean, if that first pass is off, that means the setter has to go a couple extra feet to try to get that second ball, and then they have to go a little bit farther. That means the set has a better shot of either being farther off the net, farther forward, or just not in that sweet spot that hitter would prefer.
And the other thing that's going to happen is almost always the setter's going to be stuck putting it on the outside. And so then the defense can get in position. So it's not a great ball. They kind of know where they're going anyway. So you're getting texts from all your fans?
I am. I got a little front row fan section over there.
At least someone's listening to us.
So both teams are going to come back on the court.
You go with a little different lineup. Emily Farwell's going to get a chance to play middle. She is a senior. Is that right? I'm not looking at the sheet. From
Farwell? She is a senior. You are correct. Yep.
She transferred, I want to say, from Elmhurst. And in the small world category, I went to school with Emily's mother through college and high school and middle school. And I don't, there she is, indeed. So she is going to play middle, as looks like McKenna. And Katie Rietberg will be on the outside. And we'll see who the other outside hitter is going to be after the libero comes in. Oh, wait a minute, maybe Farwell's in the middle.
Farwell's going to take the tip. Hutchinson's there, off the block of Farwell, and Ashurst will get it to 6.
So Otto and Rietberg on the outside, Farwell in the middle, along with somebody who's going to come in for Vachon. Let's see if they, maybe Thompson. We'll see.
We're going to get a double hit call on Susico.
Adrian hitting negative 059, Hope hitting positive 200 through the match so far.
Rietberg to serve. Welch is there. Susico goes back to Welch on the right side. She'll sail it into the Dutch bench. Rietberg back to serve again. This time Tobler gets it. Welch sends it over. Cutler out to Rose. Thompson. Susico goes back to Grace Welch. Cutler to Thompson again. Dug by Susico. Up by Hutchinson. And Olivia Welch will clinch that point for the Bulldogs.
All right, now I got it. Farwell and Otto in the middle, and Thompson and Rietberg on the outside with Vachon libero for the outside, not the middle.
Yep. So Farwell back to serve. Tobler, Hutchinson, and Olivia Welch back in serve receive. Susico up to Tobler. Tobler goes line, good shot.
It was a good play.
Good vision of the court right there. And Ashurst back to serve. Ashurst goes similar spot with the serve. Thompson will roll it over. Running pass, and that floats all the way out the opposite end. And Vanderlaan as well as Westra come in.
I think I called her Vandermeer earlier. Vandermeer's our referee. Another volleyball family, Nathan Vandermeer. One of many Vandermeer children who have played and officiated volleyball at all levels.
Carpe Diem is their big gym.
And David Ryan, I believe, played Division I men's at Ball State, and many of the daughters played in college as well.
Yeah, a kid from my middle school, Logan Weber, went there and now plays semi-pro volleyball. So Vashon and Farwell try to go for the pancake. Can't get that ball up.
They might want to start doing that, Adrian. Some roll shots in the middle to see if they can, because the power isn't working so far. Maybe just to try to change pace a little bit.
Right, mix up the tempo a little bit. Westra finds Otto, and Otto just brings the hammer every time. Beautiful shot. Carly Thomas will sub in for the Bulldogs, as well as Jessica Bubach. So Thompson will come out, and Vashon, the libero, will serve for her, and then Rietberg will come in into the front row.
I don't think I've ever seen Coach Schmidt ask for a lineup check.
No,
Rose was in the serving position, so she came out. And she's playing a lot of players, so it's probably a little more confusing. But Kennedy Schoonveld, our outstanding libero tracker, is on every rotation.
She is. She's on it. And
she was a good high school volleyball player and a great college basketball player.
Yeah, how excited are we to see her this season?
They're going to be good. She's pretending not to listen because she's focused on the libero.
Another good shot from Otto. The Dutch now have a 4-point lead.
Timeout, Adrian.
Bulldogs losing a little bit of their momentum. Looks like the Dutch were a little bit tripped up in those first couple points as they kind of mixed up the tempo, saw a couple roll shots, and a couple of our hits weren't connecting. But, you know, it doesn't take long for the Dutch to kind of get back into the swing of things, huh?
Well, they have a lot of weapons. They're very talented, and you know, they're going to be a very tough team to beat. It'll be Hope and Calvin again.
Yep.
Hope had a down year last year. They lost some matches in the MIAA that they wouldn't have otherwise lost in previous years. And they ended up going to the final of the tournament, but they weren't really in a position where they were going to get an NCAA at-large bid because they didn't have that kind of record. They had lost to Trine at home. They ended up with 4 or 5 league losses. Since they came into this year unranked, which I think in some way was a little bit of a blessing because they went down to Kentucky and beat 2 ranked teams. So I think nobody really knew what this team had because you just don't know about first-year students coming out.
Right.
And now people know, and I'm sure Calvin's on notice. Oh, that's illegal.
Westra to Otto. Otto goes line. Tetchington's there, but Otto just brings the power.
Otto leads the team, 7 kills. She's hitting 778. 7 kills, 9 attempts, no errors.
Vashon will continue serving. Welch is there for the pass. Bubach goes up to Tobler. Westra goes to Otto again. Uncharacteristic for her to miss a hit, but looks like she tried to mix it up a little bit and go cross court.
Yeah, really hard cut. Tough to do.
And number 15, Megan Persa, will serve for the Bulldogs. Nice short serve. Vanderlaan was back closer to that back line, not ready for it. Miscommunication from Farwell and Vanderlaan on that one. 2 back-to-back points for the Bulldogs.
I think Coach is going to move some folks around here.
So they send Otto back to help with serve receive. Wester goes outside to Riedberg, who just slams that down the line.
That was a great play. That was smart by Adrian, actually. Otto was the one that dropped back. Farwell moved up, so she was no longer available to get the serve receive. They went right at Otto, but she handled it, put it right in the lap of who was serving, Cutler.
Watch to Welch. Deshaun
Excuse me,
goes to the wing.
Wester was setting. Cutler's out.
Oh, yep. We're going to see Grace Welch come back in for Pizzo. Tetchington to serve. Otto.
Good up.
Riedberg tries to go line. We're going to get out of bounds call from the line judge.
Student body arguing heavily there. They have no idea because they're 100 feet away, but they just decided it might be worth it to complain a little bit.
Otto with a nice back row hit. Not as hard of a hit as we've seen from her, but good placement. I mean, smart shot.
Great vision. She knew where to go. 8 kills. Match of her life. It's only week 2.
And she's one that's going to be so exciting to see how she develops through the next 3 years, 4 years. Off the block. Tetchington saves it. Back row hit from Persa.
I think they had touched, didn't we?
Doesn't look like it.
I guess not. Where's the student body when we need them?
I know. Socializing, I guess.
Oh, we got a game. 11-10.
Olivia Welch back in, or Grace Welch, excuse me, getting them mixed up, and then Susiko out to serve. That one off the hands of Riedberg, and this game's now tied up.
Not great. That's a good timeout.
Smart choice from Schmidt. The wheels came off the Dutch, and
especially on serve receive. 3 out of the last 5 or 6 points. Serve receive errors. So that quieted everyone down.
And they weren't necessarily like tough serve receive plays at whatsoever. It just, we weren't checked in, I guess.
Yeah, one fell in the middle. One was hit by 0 people. One was hit by 2. And then Katie got caught off guard on that one.
And the Bulldogs come in to today 1-2. I am unsure how they did earlier today while I was in class.
Well, allow your professor to do a little digging.
So while he looks for that, in their tournament last weekend, they lost to Hanover 3-1, where Olivia Welch led the team with 20 kills and made 10 digs. And sophomore Alex Tobler also tallied double-digit kills with 11 and added and led the team with 26 digs. And then Susiko led the team with 31 assists and contributed 20 digs. And then lost later that day 3-1 to Capital, where Olivia Hale, the freshman, had a career high of 12 digs. So that was their tournament last weekend, and then they were swept by Hiram 3-0 on Tuesday, where Welch led the way with 5 kills, and then Ferdemeyer and Welch tied with 4. Good play there by the Dutch. That's what you want after a timeout,
Yep,
is to
absolutely
regain the momentum. Riedberg to serve. Susiko goes out to Welch, off the hands of Riedberg. Rashawn's going to come in, help him out in the back row, and we're going to see Alex Tobler come in the front row, and we're going to have Olivia Welch serve. Otto with a nice pass. Farwell with a quick hit. Bulldogs to cover. Cutler out to Thompson. At the net, Joust. And number 22, Allison Hurst was sent out of bounds, but we're going to get a net violation from Cutler.
must have just grazed it.
Yep.
As she went in the air.
So the Bulldogs take the lead by 1. And with the help from Thompson, Otto will free ball that one over. Hobler with a hit right through the block.
2-point lead for the Bulldogs. They're playing well. But what's not playing well is the MIAA website. So we're either having a clog here or the MIAA website has been a victim of a vicious attack or heavy web traffic.
Otto with the pass. Cutler to Farwell. Off the block, and that lands perfectly in the middle. So Farwell will send herself back to the line to serve. That's bringing it in within one. Tauber with the pass. Just go back to Tauber. Tip, Cutler's there to help. Set from Vashon, and there it is. That double hit from a non-setter on that second ball.
Oh, the unrighteous, the inhumanity, the injustice.
Not shocked. Allison Ashurst back to serve again.
Of course, when it's not my team, I'm always calling for it.
Naturally. Cutler to Stoops. Smart play by Stoops.
Very, very smart. They were expecting power, and she came with a little change of pace.
And did a really great job of the fake out. And got some height on that. Nice little leverage.
Yeah, she jumps really well.
Vanderlaan back to serve. Good solid serve. Defense is back on their heels. Perfect low hard hit right into the middle. This one goes up by Olivia Welch. They find Tobler. Off the hands of Farwell. That's going to go into the bench of the Dutch, and Vanderlaan can't get through it. So that'll give the Bulldogs the 1-point lead again. Grace Welch with the serve. Westra to Thompson. Thompson goes for the tip, recovered by Welch. Tobler goes for the push. Farwell's there, and we're going to get a double hit from Otto.
I think even I would have called that one. Probably better to put it up there with one fist or wait for it to come down and set it. That ball was spinning when she got to it. It's hard to
you can
take
even
it off.
see that visually, see the double hit on that one. Westra finds Otto.
That's why we have her in the lineup.
Yep.
We don't have her in there to set.
She went right through the block.
Coach Schmidt really wanting this lineup to work through and pick up a victory. Your crack research staff, Professor Vance Wall, has identified that the Bulldogs lost to the mighty Britons earlier today by a score of 3-0.
Alrighty.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Good to know. Westra's going to go back to Rietberg for the hit. Lubac is going to go back row, and Touchington's going to take a shot out of it, and that'll go right out of bounds.
Tied up.
Touchington with the pass. Lubac to Tobler. Tobler with good placement. Farwell is a little high, looking more for that short hit and or tip.
I think McKenna Otto's learning how to be a college middle. It's a lot of work, especially in Schmidt's system, and she's looking over, and I've seen lots of freshman middles, and they all have to kind of go through it. But McKenna is clearly ahead of the curve.
Right.
Still a lot to learn.
Off the block. Rietberg gets that in the block, and looks like Kerner tried to keep it up.
Otto was much faster on that one, and she does the swing blocking that Schmidt likes, and she was there to keep the ball in play.
Otto will serve. Lubac to Welch. She goes for the roll shot. Westra out to Rietberg. Welch with the dig. They find Kerner. Westra goes back to Rietberg. Off the block. Rietberg's there. Westra to Rietberg again, making her work. Touchington with the good dig. Out to Welch, off the block, and I think it's going to hit the tape.
Yeah. Again, the middle is a little late. Adrian's running a good offense, and they're making our middles work really hard. Farwell's a little late, but hit the net tape. Hope with a 1-point lead. Not late there.
Yeah, that was perfect timing. Farwell with a little bit of a smile on that one. Good to see. We're going to see a timeout from the Bulldogs. And what do you think gave Hope that lead in this last couple minutes?
Well, they started taking better care of the ball and had better serve receive. I wouldn't say it's necessarily the offense. I mean, we've had, but they've won the rally points the last 3 or 4, and they just cleaned up their back row play a little bit. A couple of errors, couple of blocking errors, and give Adrian credit. They were running a fast enough offense, getting the ball in the middle, had a couple of nice cut shots. So kind of surprised. I wasn't here. I was in my office working while you were in class while the Mighty Britons were beating Adrian 3-0. Albion's a much improved team. When my daughter played several years ago, Albion did not have a strong team, and they were definitely second half of the league and often weren't competitive in any matches. But they are much improved and beat what is normally a very good Adrian team. So makes me wonder what the league will turn out to be, especially since this year the coaches voted to go with a single round robin. And so these games, sometimes you're only going to get to play each team one time this year. And so I don't know what that'll do to the league standings.
Yeah, so stakes are definitely higher this year, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
And you've got to be in the top 4 to get to the tournament, so there's no room for error.
Welch to the pass, and Bubac finds Turner off the block. Deshawn's there. Wester with the tip. Good coverage by Bubac. That means Tetchington's going to take the second ball. Vanderland's there to help out Deshawn. Rietberg goes deep off the hands of Tetchington, and she knew right away that was misplaced.
Rietberg's playing very well the last few points, picking up her hitting percentage is not terribly high, but she's got 7 kills, second on the team.
Wester's going to set out Farwell, and she goes for the flare shot, and we'll send that to the stands.
That set either needed to be a little higher or Farwell needed to get there sooner. I think the timing wasn't great.
Tetchington back to serve. This one goes to Kerner. Point for the Bulldogs.
This one's going to go to Farwell. I don't know the signs, but yeah. Hey,
nice solid call. But Olivia Welch is there for the solo block. 22-21, 1-point game.
Farwell wants that ball a little higher. We're talking about it in between points.
I think that's what the assistant coach just said. Out to Rietberg. And Rietberg getting it done and that solid back corner hit. So we'll see Stutz come back in, as well as Cutler. Cutler to serve. Welch there with the pass. Kerner gets it into the block. Miscommunication enough to free ball it over, and I think we're going to get a 4-hit call.
Or maybe a double. Coach Kwan doesn't agree. Actually, I didn't see what it was.
I think they called it 4 hits.
Maybe the one was not considered a block.
I don't remember. I think it was Kerner and someone else went for the pass, and it went off one and then hit the other, and I think that's where that 4th hit is coming from.
Yeah, he might have had a complaint. It happened quickly. It happened quickly, and the down referee was in my way. So.
Yeah, I wasn't paying that close of attention. It was close call either way. We'll have Susico as well as Grace Welch come back into the game. Susico goes for the short serve, but Otto's there. They find Rietberg at the net.
Ooh, nice play. Oh, but not good enough. Point and set Hope.
So that'll do it for us for game 2. Hope goes up 2-0 after winning that one 25-22. And we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our sponsors.
We've intentionally never had minimum account sizes. Our philosophy has always been, if you're willing to put in the work and we'll collaborate and we set the plan in place and you're willing to go along with this plan and to put forth effort to this plan, we're happy to work with you. It's what we love to do. And so we have people coming in from the very starting point all the way to, to the wealthy people. It's all different scenarios. Financial planning is not just for the wealthy.
My 32 years, I can look back at clients and realize that when I started with them in my mid-30s, I was one of many professionals in their life. But since then, their doctors retired, their attorneys retired, their ministers retired, all the key people in their life retired, but we're still there. And over time, we end up being very, very close to our clients. It's very hard to talk about your financial history without talking about your family history. We get to know it, we keep it confidential, and you can't help but begin to love these people.
Hit the road!
Honey, did you remember to bring the GPS?
Nope.
Oh. Well, you have an app on your phone to tell us how to get where we're going?
I do not.
Really? So you have an actual map, like the kind that are hard to fold? You just know where you're going?
No idea.
Don't be this guy when it comes to financial planning. LVZ Advisors. We'll help get you there.
Hey, we're all a little lost. Do you know where the lake is?
Lawrence and Vanderswart for all they do for us here at Hope College. They're on the back of our t-shirts. They make it possible for Scott and I to be here and for the rest of the crew, and we just want to quick shout out the rest of the crew with Daisy, Braden, and our cameraman. We're very thankful for them and all they do behind the scenes, and Lawrence and Vanderswart for making all this possible.
LVZ, thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are great. And we got the old band back together. Two of my first year seminar students sitting right next to me. I'm not a communication professor, and they're not. Oh, actually, Braden is a communication major.
Yeah, I'm not, though.
But volleyball brings together. It's a world healer.
Exactly. Nice to always have a nice little reunion.
We are going to have a reunion.
That was my next question. Are we going to have a reunion?
It is a Vanderstoot tradition that when we teach, we always bring you all together in April for one last meal before you walk across the stage. We get to see all of Hope College's good work.
Well, that is something I'm very excited for.
We got to get it on the calendar. Jill and I got to get to work on that.
And Otto will give us the first point of the game as she gets a nice solid hit. Tip off the Bulldogs before that heads out of bounds. So looks like number 4, Grunwald, will serve.
Anna Grunwald, freshman from East Grand Rapids, a very fine player, 5'10", played against Kalamazoo earlier this afternoon and did a nice job. Probably going to play for Thompson on the outside.
Oh, okay.
Although, well, we'll have to see because I usually need a couple of rotations before we figure it out. But she might be, I think she's playing outside. She might be right side.
Yep, maybe.
For Stutes.
Attempt partner block from Otto and Westra. A little far off the net and a little late on the block. Point Adrian. And Olivia Welch will serve for us.
At the live stats frozen right now, so I can't see what the lineup is, so we'll have to wait a couple of rotations.
We're going to get a net violation.
Another match going on the other court. I'd forgotten about that.
Yep, I can tell you who it is. That is Finlandia and Albion.
Albion, yeah.
Yep.
Kalamazoo left.
And then for those of you who don't know, the other half of the conference is out at Calvin tonight and tomorrow. So Calvin, Alma, St. Mary's, and Trine, as well as Olivet, are all playing at Calvin today and tomorrow. Beautiful hit by Tobler.
Adrian off to a good start here in set one.
Making a lot of good contact.
They were not competitive in set one. They were competitive in set two, and really, it ended up 25-22 and played well.
Good follow by Vanderlaan and Rietberg.
All right,
Watch that
Stutes
out.
is coming in, so we know she'll be on the outside. So I'm thinking Grunwald is on the outside, and the other middle is going to be Vanessa Reinhout. So we had three different middles to go with Otto. Ditzenberger, Reinhout, and Farwell. Lots of options for Coach Schmidt. It hasn't always been that way.
Rietberg a little slow on the tip defense. And Grace Welch will serve. Grunwald with the pass. Stutes off the tape, but hey, hit it hard enough that it still went over.
Right-siders love to come on that serve receive up the middle because they never get to do that. Well, they get to do it once every 6 rotations,
right.
I guess.
Kerner subbed in.
4 kills for Stutes.
As well
Rietberg
as
and Otto lead the team with 9. And that was a back row attack because the setter's in the back row and she went up to try to grab the ball and can't send it over. I don't think she meant to, but it contacted the Hope player.
Kerner will have to take the second ball, and Olivia Welch tries to make something out of it. But not a very well-played ball to hit off of. Rietberg back to serve. And we're going to see Persa come in for Tobler. She'll serve and play back row. Rietberg there with the pass.
Ooh, nice
Go to
set.
Stutes. Stutes goes for the tip. Blocks there to send it back over. Cutler finds Grunwald off the block again. They find Stutes with a quick 1-2. And it goes off the hands of Persa into the stands.
Grunwald learning a little bit about being a college volleyball player. Had a nice match against Kalamazoo, but did get blocked a couple of times. I think we'll learn that the power that got her through high school will probably have to be tempered with some change of speeds and some rolls and some tips.
And Welch will get it again. Vachon on the ground. Went for the backup dive on the previous play and couldn't get up fast enough. Ash Hurst will come in. And then Tetchington will serve.
I want to give the love to the Hope fans. You know, they have been so loyal to volleyball. They filled it again tonight. on a night when they could be doing a lot of other things. It's nice weather, it's summertime, and we appreciate their support.
You can always count on the Hope faithful. Grunwald, good heads-up play. That wide open was wide open. Olivia Welch stuck back towards the sideline and just left it wide open for a nice play for Grunwald.
Yep, that's the kind of stuff she'll have to do. She'll have to expand her repertoire of shots as a college player, as they all do when they transition from high school to college.
Dubois to Ashurst. Gets it to land. Makes it a 2-point game. Susico will come in as well as Grace Welch. And Susico will serve. Sean with the pass, Riedberg to help her out a little bit, and Grunwald with a nice slow roll shot, floats over the block.
Smart play.
She sends herself back to the line to serve. Hutchinson with a good pass.
Good set. Good play.
That's probably one of the best combinations we've seen.
Yeah. Yep. Just goes to show you what that first ball can do.
Exactly.
The set floated through with no spin, and Hope was not ready.
Right. Olivia Welch to serve.
Look at that. We got a game, 10-9.
Just like that, it's a one-pointer. Olivia Welch, the senior from Vicksburg.
You ever been to Vicksburg, Carly?
Not that I don't think
Never
so.
had a basketball game there?
I'm trying to remember if I had a AAU tournament there, but
small town.
It's been a while.
South of Kalamazoo. Well, is it south? Near Kalamazoo. I don't know if I've ever been there either.
Ooh, Wester trying to go for that back tip. Could be potentially dangerous if she adds that to her repertoire. But now that'll give Adrian the lead by 1.
Welch has been back there serving a while. We need to get this done with.
Wester out to Otto. Susico's there to help. Tobler with the hit. Sean with a tight pass, and I think Wester is going to get into the net.
Yeah, the Dutch are not looking sharp right now. They just kind of in their own way. Coach Schmidt sees it.
Yep, smart.
Was that 5 in a row, I think.
Yep. Very smart move from Schmidt. She does not look happy, and rightfully so. And this is where we saw Hope get a little bit tripped up in the last game. Was his serve receive. It's really giving us some trouble. I don't remember who was serving, but it took us probably 5, 6, 7 times to kind of get over it, and then we called the timeout and got the first point back. So hopefully this will throw Welch out of routine a little bit.
But Adrian's playing well right now, and again, I wasn't here, but I'm interested in seeing that Albion team, because if they can beat Adrian 3-0, that means that they'll be a competitive team also.
Yeah, and tomorrow I can tell you the matchups. We start at 11 a.m. Adrian versus Finlandia on that middle court, and at 11 a.m. you'll see the game right here, Hope versus Albion, which is the one that you were just talking about, one of the ones to see. 1 p.m. Kalamazoo plays Adrian, and then Finlandia plays Hope at 1. And then 3 to finish us off, Albion will play Kalamazoo.
Are you on that game tomorrow, Car?
I have to go back to GR and work a wedding at the country club that I
So if
worked
I
at
am
this
also out of town, but I'm going to be able to watch it. Do we have a crack staff on this one?
I want to say that I heard through the grapevine that Blaine Wears-Bicky, who used to broadcast with me 2 years ago now, who graduated 2 years ago, is going to come back and do tomorrow.
Yes,
I
sir.
think. So you will be in very good hands tomorrow.
Blaine is back. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing it, and enjoy your wedding. You're working a wedding?
Yeah, I'm a server for that, so I'm the person that, brings you your food. Very glamorous.
Servant leadership.
Exactly.
All right. I guess when we stop talking about volleyball, we do better. We're tied 12-all.
I
now
guess.
Adrian's going to take a timeout.
And they're trying to go for the same effect, maybe ice that server a little bit, kind of get them out of their groove. Stop it now. Coach Kwan doesn't look upset. Just looks like he's looking for a change of tempo.
He is I've never met him, but he is a very hardworking coach. When I was a volleyball parent, I would see him everywhere, at every AAU tournament, he was everywhere. And then he's been coaching at Adrian for 7 years.
Yep.
And recruits very hard, coaches very hard, and loves the game, adds a lot to the game. And does great. You know, he never seems to lose his temper.
No.
I don't know how coaches do that. I don't know how any coach does that.
Hey, you're a referee though for basketball. Isn't that what you want from your coaches?
Absolutely.
So you know?
That's why I don't understand how they ever do it, because I rarely see it.
That is true. Are you back on high school this year?
A handful of games. Yep.
Okay.
Until they tell me I can't, or I used to do way too much of it when I was younger, but now with pace of life and work here at Hope, if I can get out 8 or 10 Fridays a year, that'll be good.
Yeah, you might see my brother out there. He started doing high school games last year. Tobler will send it over off the block. She'll tip it back over again. Wester finds Rietberg.
Nice
right,
play.
Right in front of that 10-foot line. Suchiko saw it coming and charged in, but just perfect timing tip on Rietberg. Otto with a close serve there. Welch with the tip. Wester's there.
Look at that middle hitter.
Otto with the back set.
That was a good set.
Rietberg couldn't finish. We're going to see Allison Ashurst back to serve. Still tied up. Grunwald with the pass. Rietberg off the block. Ashurst mispasses that.
Hope with its first lead in a while. See if we can hold it. Here comes Adrian to do the setting through the back row. She'll start by serving. Grunwald in the back row, along with Vachon up front. It's Reinhout and Stutz and Rietberg. And there's an ace.
Yeah, looks like Ketchington, excuse me. Don't know where I got that from. Just sitting back on her heels. And Tobler goes in for that, and Ketchington will have to go in for the save, and Welch will free it over. Cutler tight to the net, and Stutz somehow manages to get it over. Tobler with good cross-court hit. Welch with the serve. Out to Reinhardt. Good dig by Welch. Out to Tobler. Vachon's going to take the second ball to Stutz. She goes for the tip. Beautiful tip, about 2 feet in front of that 10-foot line. Beautifully placed right over the block. It's a far way for that back row defender to travel. We're going to see Kerner as well as Bubac come back in. Rietberg to serve. And looks like Cutler went to try to get that second ball a little bit too far for her to go. Sent that into the crowd.
Adrian is not going away. 16-15. This is the third lineup here that Coach Schmidt's using. Some overlap, but lots of people getting lots of chances to play.
Persa with the serve.
Ooh.
Get a double hit call there. Tie is up at 16.
I don't really want to go to a fourth set. Let's wrap this up. Let's win with an impressive 3-0.
Sean with the first pass. Out to Grunwald off the block of Kerner. Beautiful job.
Grunwald, that's her third kill. And, you know, the first one went off the block and was defended, but then the next 3 have been kills, and they haven't all been power. That one was, but then she had a roll shot and a tip shot.
Bubac goes over top on that one and a little bit too strong. hit it out of bounds. 18-16.
Nice
Watch goes right side to Turner. It doesn't look like she was ready for that or expecting it.
Yeah, I was going to say good set. It was maybe a little tight to the net, but you're right, Turner, I don't think was quite ready for it. Timeout, Adrian.
19-16, the Dutch still in control. And we've seen the vast majority, I want to say, this bench has played.
Yep.
Which is always exciting to see.
Yep, lots of people getting playing time. Deep bench, lots of first-year students. I like this team, and I like what it can do in the future. I think it's going to get a little bit better. I don't know what Calvin brings. They need an answer for DeVries. They're running a two-setter offense apparently too, but we haven't beaten them in a while. We haven't beaten them since 2014.
Nope.
This would be a good year to do that.
Yep, they still got Anna Camp back there, and
new setter.
Their libero's still there, but new setter.
Lodewijk is gone, so they're coming with two setters.
Yep. And I think they graduated a couple more maybe, if my memory is correct, but we'll get to that when we cross that path.
Very strong player from well, it used to be Grand Rapids Baptist.
North Point Christian. That's where my brother went. Yep. An old Mustang.
Right.
Yep, and Sarah DeVries, if I remember correctly from last year, I think she set for that North Point team just because they needed someone and she was their gal.
Okay.
I think we got a rotation.
I think that they weren't quite ready yet. Now we're ready.
Michonne to serve now. At the net, Otto's there. A nice kick. Off the block. Good heads-up play from Welch, and Coach Kwan is pumped up about that one.
That was a nice play. Otto thought she had it, and so it started with a great dig. Give credit to Adrian on that. 2-point game. They need one more of those. Tough to be down 3 when you're at 20.
Cutler finds Grunwald. They choose to go to Welch. Off the block, through the hands. I think Otto expected it to come a little bit harder, so when it was a little bit more of that off speed.
Yeah, and you solved that problem by penetrating a little bit better.
Yep. 1-point game. Close to the net. Grunwald's gonna roll shot that right into the middle. Beautiful job.
Anna Grunwald's having a great set. She played set 3 against Kalamazoo, but is being much more effective. This is, you'll see it. She's another one of these players who's going to get a little bit better every week, and she's mixed up her shots. What is that, 4 or 5 kills for Grunwald? 4.
Vanderlaan will serve. She comes in to play the back row, and we saw Westra come in to set in this front, and Welch, who's done a phenomenal job tonight, really one of the key players for Adrian.
Still a 1-point game. Give Adrian a lot of credit.
Tutiko will come in as well as Grace Welch. So we have Grace Welch, Olivia Welch, and Allison Ashurst in the front row for the Bulldogs. Wester goes for the quick tip. Ketchington will have to take the second pass. Welch sends it over. Wester to Otto, off the block.
That's 12 kills for Otto. She's been quiet lately. She's played all 3 sets, and she had a really terrific second set.
Welch with a good pass. They find Grace Welch, who sends it out, but it looks like we got a tip. Settle in favor of Adrian.
Yeah, the ball stayed up. And Adrian's out of subs. Oh, actually, they're at 12.
Yep.
I can't remember if it's 12 or 15 in college.
This ball's gonna get sent over. Tauber will get it. Vanderlaan there to recover the tip. Rieberg with a hard hit and a nice block from Grace Welch.
That might have been 4 hits anyway. I'm not sure it didn't hit the net.
It kind of looked like it hit more of that tape more than. Lots of
Adrian's
hands.
happy to have the point and the block stat. And now we're tied at 21. Come on, folks.
Key play for both teams right
Nice
here.
set.
Reaper getting it done.
Senior leadership, 14 kills for Katie Rietberg.
Exactly what the Dutch needed in this moment. Up by 1. Otto to serve. Tauber will take the hit. Otto with a beautiful pass. They find Rietberg out, and she just crushes it. Beautiful job. See that Suzuko, the setter, was up more to try to get that second ball, and Welch hovered more in that middle spot.
And Ashurst was late, and so Rietberg only had one blocker.
Wester gets a wing on it, keeps it alive. Rietberg with the roll shot. Suzuka finds Tobler. Out of bounds and no tip, so point Dutch. This is game point right here, 24-21.
Crowd back on their feet. This has been a great match. Adrian's played well. They had their moments when they didn't, but. And they're not going away. I still am amazed. I want to see Albion tomorrow. I got to watch that match.
It'll be a good one.
If they can beat this Adrian team 3-0.
They need another sub.
13 subs now. Must be 15 in college.
Yep. Sinclair's going to come in. This is her first appearance of this game, at least.
She's in there to serve.
A lot of pressure, but she succeeds. Reaper bringing it down for that final point.
That was a great match. Well played by both teams.
And Hope will bring it away 25-22. And what do you think Hope did in that last game and that last few points, because it was close that whole time, to kind of take it away?
Well, in sets 2 and 3, they kind of fell asleep in the middle, and they weren't handling the serve receive, and then the timeout kind of brought them back. But give Adrian a lot of credit. This is a good team. I think they will compete for one of those top 4 spots in this single round robin format. And Coach Kwan continues to recruit hard and coach hard, and he's got a nice team. But Hope is certainly better today than they were a year ago at this time.
Agreed.
And I'm not even sure that they're not better now than they were at the end of last season. I mean, they're playing very well. They're playing as a unit, and they have good young players who are giving them lots of options and a lot of depth. I mean, Coach Schmidt hasn't even arrived at her final lineup yet because she's playing a different lineup in each of the 3 sets in both matches today. So I'm excited about the season. I'm not excited about the single round robin because now we don't get to see as many matches. So I don't get to hang out with you as much.
I know, it's kind of a bummer.
We'll get through it, Carr.
We will. We always do, right? So that'll do it for us here tonight, folks. Hope takes away this final game of the night against Adrian 3-0. I'm Carly Vansois alongside Scott Vanderstoop. We hope to see you next time. Games start tomorrow at 11 a.m. And always remember, roll Dutch.